this is. Jitsi does. I should have said, folks. I should have warned folks that was going to happen. Hi, hello to anyone who's watching this in the internet. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. You can find them at Gauntlet-RPG. There'll be a link down below in the description. You'll find all the stuff they do there. Blogs, forums. There's their monthly zine called Codex, which contains usually supplements to existing games. More often than not, original games in itself. Check that out by subscribing to their Patreon. There's also their podcast network, of which there are many different podcasts. And also there's the Hangouts calendar to which this game is arranged. This game in particular is session 2 of our run through to Masks, a Power Brain Apocalypse game of teenage superheroes trying to figure out who they are while punching people, etc., etc. You'll know how it is. It's by Brendan Conway, published by Magpie Games. Link down below. If you want to check out all this teenage superhero goodness, we are using the playset, The Spider Web, written by Brendan Conway and Mark Diaz Truman. We are down on the ground, street level superheroics, trying to protect our friendly neighborhood from a spider-themed person this time, which is, I just got that. That's interesting. So this is but unlike in some mass games, we're not in House City. We are in its Atlantic City cousin equivalent, Prospect City, and we've been here for a year. Well, I've been running games in this setting for a year, and now we're back to close it out in a kind of fashion. All right, cool. So let's introduce all our players and their characters. So I guess I should introduce myself. My name's Leandro. Hi, I use he, him pronouns. I'm the one running this since I'm doing all the talking. You can probably tell. So let's go left to right on the character keeper, and so just introduce yourselves and pronouns, and then and give us the quick pitch on your character. So let's start with David.
Hi, I'm David. I use he, him pronouns, and this evening I am playing the superhero known as Spectre, or in his normal persona, Kai Ventura. I blanked completely on what I was going to say next. Yes, so I'm in the Beacon playbook, which, for those of you familiar with Masks, is essentially playing the character on the team who doesn't really actually have any superpowers, but is mostly there to do what he can. So Kai is a resident of Shoreline, the district of the city that this game is taking place in. He is a returning character to this series in Leandro's cinematic universe. He was actually in the first series of this particular play set back last year. So he is one of the things he's discovered in his time is that the spider is in fact his mum. So that's makes things nice and interesting and angsty. So as I say, Spectre is a kind of a fairly standard sort of masked vigilante type superhero. He has no real superpowers, as mentioned. He basically gets by on the fact that he's quite athletic. Does a lot of parkour and stuff, and is good at sneaking around and blending into the background. That's Spectre.
Cool. Spectre's done quite well since his debut last year, for sure. Hopefully he'll do even better against his mom. Up next is Ferret. Tell us about yourself and your character.
Hello, I am Ferret, also go by Sawyer. I use any pronouns that respect, and I am playing Iktomi, the non-spider-themed hero. And I say hero with a heavy quotation mark and question mark ratio, as he is reformed, which can basically summed up by like the new Harley Quinn DC animated series, except without wanting to go back to villainy. And he thinks he's the closest to the spider, not knowing our beacon's wonderful little secret, because he used to work for her in this very awkward, angsty Addams Family-esque murder hobo family. Well, yeah, it's a great way to put it. He has this girlfriend, well, ex-girlfriend, who can get him things and who might be coming calling soon.
Picked the wrong time to take a sip there. Yeah, could be. I don't know. Who knows? It's not like that we have a system of things wishing for what they want to see. I don't know. It could, a lot of things could be happening today. Pay to find out, as folks would say. Up next, Steve, tell us about yourself and the character you're playing.
So I'm Steve. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character. I'm playing Wrath. His real name is Carl Magnus. His playbook is the protege. So he's the protege of kind of mysterious guy named Sigmund. His special ability really is he has the power to draw forth the spectral sword Graham from any kind of living wood. So as I described it last time, it's kind of like Psylocke's blade. It's not a physical blade. It causes, neural disruption or whatever when it hits instead of hacking off arms and legs. But he's got a fairly difficult relationship with his mentor. Really, everything in his background is sort of a urban fantasy combining Norse mythology and Norse sagas into the present day. So that's kind of where most of his background stuff comes from. Yeah, I think that's a good summary of him.
Cool. Hope we get to see him bust some fools or something today. I don't have to recover from that. Other than moving on to our last but not least player, Tony, tell us about yourself and your character.
Sure. My name is Tony. I use he, him pronouns. And my character is Setere Keist, the Janus. And her powers are basically bone growth and impossible mobility. So kind of more of a mutant feel to it. Some freakiness there. She's generally dressed in all black with red accents, red gloves, red boots, red scarf as her disguise. And I think the main thing about her is sort of balancing what she really feels in terms of freedom as being a superhero against all the things that hold her back in real life. And that about sums it up.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Not to be too flippant about it, but what's a mask's character without having to struggle to figure out who they are? All right. So before we jump into where we are in the game proper, I want to talk about the safety tools that we're using for tonight. Remind folks about our lines and veils. They're in the neighborhood tab of the character keeper. Basically, lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in fiction at all. It's just off the table. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but it's not something we'll concentrate over, like it happened off screen, or we'll fast forward over it, or just a line or two. That's all they're gonna get. We're also using the X card for today, which basically, if we do roll into a scene where folks feel uncomfortable for any reason, and any reason's fine. In fact, you don't have to explain what the reason is that you're uncomfortable. It could be a name or just like the tone of the scene. You can say you want to X card that either on the chat or on the roll for your party, or you make the symbol here. I might ask some questions on what's being X carded, but no one gets the question if it's used. If it's used, we'll respect that. We'll roll back and try something else. Or do you want to make a note that the lines and veils is a living document, so folks. If you can't think of anything, or if you think of something later, feel free to add them. I'll regularly check on if there's any new lines and veils that are mine, and just point out if there are any new ones to folks. And also, we have an open door policy. If folks need to step away from the table at any time, and anything could be happening, and for any reason, whether there's an emergency, you need to step away to take care of that, or you're more tired than you thought and you need to step away to take care of yourself, or if you really, really need to like just take a break, you can call it at any time. And even if you want like a 5 minute or a 2 minute or a 10 minute break, at any time, people can call that, and we'll pause the game and we'll accommodate yourselves. Right. So last session, we mostly got to meet our lovely, rambunctious, incredibly lovable group of teenage superheroes. They're all very cute, and they've got so much gumption. I can't wait to like just see how they'll do. We got some little scenes with them. We got to see Spectre in the glory that is their living state, with their picking up some clues on what to do with the spider. You got Iktomi meeting someone strange and weird in a cafe of some sort, and then mooning over his ex, as one is wont to do. We got to see Raph, aka Carl, get one over his mentor, which was cool, which was quite cool. And we got to see Setore and also Caetano in school for like a quick moment, just a quick moment of normalcy, which is very nice. But I do want let's bring you all together. So let's say this. If last session was the free comic book day teaser of like, here's a bunch of scenes introducing these new heroes, I guess at the start of this issue we are gonna like open with like this shot of like this lighthouse. It's kind of this derelict looking lighthouse on the edge of Shoreline, and I'm gonna ask each of you to paint the scene, just add details to this hideout of yours. Like what's a detail that maybe your character specifically would be, or maybe they've added, or just even like just a more general detail of your hideout itself. And feel free also to describe for us what we see when like the comic book lights up, ends up, or a panel looks on your character. It's a lot to ask, so I'll give you a moment to think about that. But if anyone has an idea, feel free to jump in.
So I think this this lighthouse is standard for lighthouses. It's like painted white on the outside, maybe a little weathered and stained with time now, but it is largely painted white, which means that it is an absolutely perfect canvas for graffiti artists, and it's certainly the more accessible parts, and even some of the less accessible bits of it are covered in both just like fairly standard tags and the like, and also some more artistic expression over it. And I think we actually see one of Spectre's old works of art up there, which is I think it is just like a group of sort of silhouetted figures that sort of all like raising fists in the air with just like "Stand Up for Shoreline" under it, signed off with his Shoreline Spectre tag from back before he was even a hero. What we see of Spectre as he arrives at the lighthouse is we just get a few like small panels of him like needlessly climbing up the outside of the lighthouse. You'd said he's got kind of like the sort of fairly dark black sort of tactical spandex with one of those sort of white scream / hockey masks, and sort of a cowled hood pulled up over it. and yeah, we see him kind of climbing up the outside of the lighthouse to get into the big what would you call it? Like where the light is at the top, the big like
The beacon.
Yeah, the beacon. That's it. Yeah.
Nice.
And we'll get that moment of him, stood next to the big beacon with which everyone will say, isn't that just a bit on the nose?
I think like from seeing Kai like on the beacon, like he, if I may, like he pulls out some binoculars, starts looking out, and the panel pans out to like the very edge of the territory of the lighthouse, and there's this sign up that says Major Dickinson's beautification project, Prospect City, 2019. And as you like go, it sort of like follows into the lighthouse. Like there's been lots of trees planted, and like there's like even like there's little signs like Mr. and Mrs. So-so's charity tree planted today, or this bench planted by X. And then like even like right at the base of the lighthouse, it's like Colonel Major Dickinson's artist project for graffiti throughout Prospect City. And as like it keeps going, like keeps sort of following this like path inwards, and we see Iktomi in this small little room that used to be a utility closet in the lighthouse. And he's there's this ID posted up like in tape that just says Colonel Major Dickinson, and it's like all completely made up by him. This entire beautification project. He has all these letters that have been opened that like I've been talking to the city about keeping this place a landmark for Prospect City forever, and like, the Major is just so worried about his old war buddies and wanting to make a statement, and Iktomi is just like now burning the letters to like, get rid of the evidence that all is wrongdoing.
Oh, what a scamp. What about Carl or Seth, or what do we see of them?
I think for Setare, we see the lighthouse floor, and kind of every crevice is filled with sort of cables and random electrical equipment. And in a back corner somewhere, perhaps there's even an old sleeping bag, some trash, wrappers, empty water bottles. And it's obvious that someone spends a lot of time here. Maybe doesn't even go home at night. And I think the majority of it is sort of like some monitors that are watching city CCTV cameras, and some police scanners, and just sort of a little bit of a very, very cheap sort of surveillance station has been installed in the lighthouse to kind of find when crimes are occurring, or just keep a watch on the city.
And what about Carl?
Yeah, so I think to draw those things together, like the camera kind of focuses on the surveillance equipment and focuses on the screens that are all sort of jumbled and hot wired and jury rigged together, and a splash of paint like slaps onto some of those wires, and the camera zooms up, and Carl is kind of grumbling to himself as he paints a fresh coat of just white primer over some of the stairways, and you can like look down. The camera encompasses like the entire stairway that goes up to the beacon, and he's working on painting his way up the entire bit of metalwork because everything's become like very rusted and corroded inside from the water. So Carl is essentially doing maintenance while everyone else is, scanning the horizon and being heroic looking and whatnot, and being slightly pissed about having to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, a spectral sword doesn't flow, heroically in the wind. Sadly. All right. So before I start throwing you at each other because I do want to see y'all interact. I do want to roll one of the time passes moves. We rolled the reformed one last time, that just happened, so we don't have to do it again. But I do want to roll Cetare's one for the Janus, if that's all right with you,
Sure.
Cetare. So, let me just look up the move. Where is my? Nope, not that one. Give me a sec. Okay, cool. Yeah, roll mundane and see what happens. Just double check where it is. It is your secret identity. Your mundane life comes with a series of obligations. When time passes, roll plus your mundane to see how you're managing your obligations. So yeah, you've got a pretty good mundane. It'll be fine.
I was muted. My bad. That actually went well. If I'm adding mundane, that'll be a 13.
Okay, all right, cool. So on a hit, things are going pretty well. So you have an opportunity or advantage thanks to one of your obligations. So you don't have to come up with that now. You can call that in at any point. But yeah,
Okay.
something from either your waitressing, your athletic team, or having to look after your younger sibling is gonna pay off later.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Cool. So yeah. It seems I do want to know, like, when y'all meet up at this lighthouse, is it for specific things, or is it just like hey, we're hanging out before we go out and do patrol or whatnot? Like what's the thinking behind getting together at least for tonight? Did anyone call in this meeting, or is it just everyone's just here? This is what you do.
I think that we maybe have kind of a scheduled meetup, but I think there is like a means of, well, I mean, I think probably the obvious means of summoning people here is you can like kind of put up like a sort of like laser light type thing in the beacon bit of the lighthouse, because people can look up and see it there. Not like a full-on bat signal type thing, but just like essentially like a laser pointer that if you know to look for it, you can kind of
Of course.
So I've kind of got a question for the table, and it's because one of my moves that I didn't take involves being like the team leader. I just I wondered what you guys thought about who the leader was so far. To me, it makes sense for it to be Spectre. Like if there was an established person who would say call meetings.
I think so too.
Yeah, it'd probably be Spectre.
Yeah,
and I wanted, is that okay with you, Dave?
Yeah, no, that's fine by me. That's fine by me.
Seniority wins out. So, last time we saw Spectre last session, you were piecing together some clues on your conspiracy board, and the one that I think the role got you is that like one of the Spider's more super powered lieutenants has been making herself known with alarming frequency. The one they call desiccatia. I think that's how it's pronounced, right, Fred? Desiccatia. Yeah. All right. Cool. Got a big thumbs up. Yeah. So that's kind of like what your most recent investigations have picked up. I think we're probably like. I kind of like the background of this, like, yeah, the police scanner, is popping in, like, oh, okay, minor, some some kids are egging the ice cream truck or something like that. I don't know how police scanners work. I'm sure there's a specific code for that. But yeah, that's where we last saw Spectre.
Yeah, so I think as everyone turns up, making their various ways to the lighthouse, I think Spectre is going to be sort of sat like on a workbench or something, and I think once everyone has arrived, he's actually going to like pull down his cowl and take his mask off, because, like as I said before, he's like he's only really masked for the fact that it looks more threatening than any. At this point, he doesn't really have anyone that he's trying to conceal his identity from. So, you know,
unlike, say, our Janice here, who's probably masked up right now.
Yeah,
definitely.
And it says, "Hey, I'm glad you could all make it here. I mean, we all know broadly what's going down here. We need to get rid of the spider. We need to clear out this this town, and on that front, and he's gonna like pull out a Polaroid picture that we saw earlier, or last time, and say one of the spider's lieutenants, it's a lady name of Desiccatia. She's powered. I don't know the full extent of her powers, but she's been throwing her weight around recently, so we need to keep an eye out for her. They seem to be getting a lot more obvious recently, and not to mention that, but word on the street is the cops, or well, the people passing themselves off as cops, are planning to start cleaning things up, and I don't mean I mean in terms of pushing people off the street, make everything nice and picturesque for the property developers to get in. I don't think we can rely on them for any help in dealing with anyone who's actually doing any serious crime in this town, but they're definitely going to be out there harassing some people.
Wait, does this mean that the lieutenant of the spider is in trouble with the police?
Well, she certainly could be, but from what I've seen, they're more interested in making everything look prettier than actually, doing the job they're supposed to be doing.
That sounds more like it.
If they're not actively on the take, which
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm an expert or anything. I mean, I was the one who was closest of all of us to the spider. And desiccation, I kind of go back pretty strongly. Like, tighter than the blood brothers, blood sisters of evil kind. We dated. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool, I guess. I mean, not, whatever, I guess.
Carl is obviously trying to look casual when he asks, so are you guys still in contact?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're amicable. The break.
Oh, Oh no, we lost Tony. Oh, Tony's back. I don't know if it cut off for everyone else, but I Ferret, you cut off after breakup was amicable. So I think
Yeah,
we're
it
not
did for
trying to
me
kill.
too. Can you repeat that?
We're not trying to kill each other right now, at least.
So you're saying you talked to the ferret's lieutenant or the spider's lieutenant?
I keep in touch with 2 members of the old group and 1 member of the out group. I mean, they helped me, and I can skirt the law still. I mean, it's not like everyone's doing great out there.
So theoretically, if we were to have words with this Desiccatia, whose side are you going to be on?
Oh God. I think he gets kind of agitated. His chest puffs up. I've moved on. I have completely moved on. There is no part of me that is tied down to her. I'm with y'all, 100%.
I guess we'll see.
I do want to point out that there's a move for piercing the mask, just looking to see through, trying to look through another person. It sounds like that's kind of like, is Carl suspicious enough, or was this inquisitive enough to have been doing that? Do you think?
Yeah, because remember, his mentor has told him that Iktomi's bad news, so he's kind of watching him anyway.
Cool. Do you have influence over Iktomi?
No.
Cool. Does anyone have influence on you? I don't think so. That's
No, I'm not talking about my past much.
cool. All right. So why don't you roll mundane then?
Hang on. The only thing I didn't... Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry, hang on just a second.
No worries.
Total was 6.
Okay. All right. So mark potential. First and foremost. Who? I think. Well, yeah. I think what we'll get, and this won't be like the hardest of hard moves. I think Iktomi, you'll. I guess I should ask first, Iktomi. How many do you think? How comfortable are you with people kind of like questioning you about your past? I guess.
About my relationships, fine. About what I did with them, not that much.
Okay. Well, firstly, yeah, I do want to know, like, what's your response to Wrath being all side-eye about you?
I think he pulls out the letter that had the wax seal with like the Graham and Fafnir seal or whatever, and just shoves it at Wrath. Like, here, I got this for you. Did some digging for you. Are you happy?
Carl takes it, but the suspicions don't really go away. He sort of continues to look out at Iktomi out of the corner of his eye, and he takes that away to examine it.
Let's see. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. I think as part of this, I think Carl, you're gonna take a condition. How are you feeling? Do you think?
Usually angry.
So yeah, why don't you take angry then? Setare, while you're what? Do you have a dog in this fight, Setare?
I think right now there's kind of this just general, like we can see. I guess right now it's Sia in the costume,
Yeah.
looking just back and forth, like as each one talks, and their head is just like, okay, what are they saying? All right, look over this way, and it's like almost like they're on a swivel, and they're just taking in all this information. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, we need to have a job to do, and I think at that point, that's when Sia steps forward, and she's like, well, there's only one way to find out what's going to happen, right? We need to go.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sia. We should get out there, try and see if we can get eyes on Desiccatia. See what she's up to. Like I said, I get the feeling something's coming, and we need to be ready to deal with it.
Carl kind of looks side-eyed again at Iktomi and says, "Yeah, I think we got a lot to learn out there if we run into her."
Yeah.
Iktomi just rolls his eyes.
Here's where I kind of ask, like, actually, you know what? I'll just make this easier for you. I think there's probably like a couple of I don't know. We got like a few comic panels, like beats of like some uneasy sort of like preparation for going out, and that's when then finally we see, like, we get the shot of the police scanner and here's Quack saying like be advised that all units, Shoreline, be advised, we have confirmed sighting of suspect codenamed Desiccatia down at the docks. Be advised, all units be on high alert. We are moving in, and then it cuts off. It's very convenient. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, excitingly convenient. I think at the sound of that speaker and the sound of the name Desiccatia, the bones coming out of Sia's head grow a little bit longer, just in excitement, and they leap through the open lighthouse window like they're getting ready to go.
Iktomi shrugs and walks out the door.
Oh, you're all so united. You're all so terribly united. All right. I guess, yeah, let's just cut to the action. I don't think unless you want to keep up all this awkward tension between all of y'all. But does it
I'm sure it'll continue over time.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing like getting to a fight to ease out all this tensions. Okay, so I think we're gonna cut from there, unless there's anyone else wants to say anything to anyone, whether now that you're all kind of away from each other. Although I guess you're all booking it to where you need to be. You're all going. I think the police squawker can say that, like, they said exactly where they cited Desiccatia. So, but I assuming everyone's getting there their own way. No one's really hanging out with each other.
I'd like to go with Sia if possible, if she's not just leaping about out of my range.
I think that perhaps there's kind of they're going together with you on the ground and Sia sort of like dashing up above, maybe through some fire escapes and stuff like that. Just kind of pointlessly, but you can tell there's a lot of energetic anxiety that needs to come out with all this movement. So perhaps yeah.
I like the idea that Tommy's like walking on the ground. Like, he goes a block, and like by the time he's walked a block, she's like leapt over a fire escape, run across the building, top of a building, leapt across that, done a roll, like gone down a fire escape. And he's just like going block by block, keeping her in his view. It's like, okay, do I have time to get a gyro in the food stand? No, keep going.
I like that. I like the juxtaposition of like the slow kind of casual walk versus all this action happening up above.
And I think we get a couple of panels of Spectre doing a similar sort of thing, and he exits. He's got his mask back on, and he exits the lighthouse and kind of takes unconventional routes for a little bit. But then we see him kind of do the thing of like dropping down from the roof of a building behind, like into a dumpster, and then coming out in just like with a sort of his mask off, just a plain hoodie over his like outfit, the hood pulled down, and a sort of messenger bag over his shoulder, as he kind of Assassin's Creed's into a crowd.
And I think Carl is walking like a ways behind all this, partially because he's keeping an eye on Iktomi, but he also just looks like he's pissed off. He's got his shoulders hunched up, his helmet's on, but his hands are like buried in his jacket pockets. So he's essentially sulking at the back.
All right. So, Iktomi, you said you wanted to catch up with Sia for a bit. Was there anything you wanted to say to her?
I think it's like maybe he finally is like climbing this ladder and like getting to the top of one of these roofs that she's looking out at, and she's checking out the docks, and he gets up there, he stuffs his hands in his pockets, and just to call it my move, I want to share a team vulnerability with her.
Cool.
And to read out my vulnerability move,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me find it. When you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, ask them what they would do something dark for, and gain influence over them. And I think he's just actually. I think this will be a moment of triumph because but he's basically just talking. It's like I can't believe I went out of my way for Wrath. I actually talked to my contacts, got in touch with people I wish I hadn't seen and still wish I hadn't seen, and found some information on that wonky little sword of his. Well, sword, not little. And this is how he repays me? By just jumping down my throat this entire time? I'm with this team. I'm with everybody. I mean, it took me a lot to go back to these people I've seen. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be someone or something in your life you'd kill to protect, isn't there, Sia?
Well, this is the path we've chosen isn't one for gratitude, really. There's a lot of bad things we have to do for the right reasons, and I've hurt my fair share of people to protect the ones that I love. It's really, they won't thank you for it, but you have to do it, because who else will? Does there have to be more of a reveal there for the influence, or I'm unsure how dark it has to be for?
No, I think the fact that you reveal that you've hurt people in the past is enough. Since I was saying there's got to be something you're willing to go overboard for. But there was literally
Gotcha.
I'm less than a block away from a train. It was going right by my place, so I couldn't deem you.
Oh,
tell
gotcha.
you. So I gain influence over you, which I already had. So I get to shift your labels.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So I think I will push your savior down and your danger up.
Cool with that, Sia?
Sure.
Yeah, so I think what I do want to get at least Iktomi's reaction to what Sia said, and then we'll cut from there.
I think there's just this smile of understanding, and he then just kind of looks at her hair. It's like, you look battle ready. Nice. That's like way too chill about all this stuff. Like, I've hurt people. I've hurt people too badly. Okay.
All right. So unless anyone else has any more emotional baggage they need to air out, I think. Let's see. We should have probably mentioned what time of day this is. Imagining this is definitely after school time. The sun has slipped past the horizon, and I think where you're going is like it's at the edge of Shoreline when just as it's bleeding into the more metropolitan side of Prospect City. That's kind of what I'm imagining, and there's people kind of out and about. There's still cars kind of around. I'm imagining this is like because we mentioned a park. Did we mention a park? Hold on, let me double check the neighborhood. Yeah. Shark Park. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah.
We renamed from Park to Shark Park. Jesus. Yeah, the one with the city park, all the pines. That's where Carl's hidden base is. But at the kind of like on the north side of the park, the road on the north side, I think you'll see, and there's like quite a crowd of people. And I think I don't know who spots her, but like you see like in this throng of people kind of like waiting to cross the road. You see Desiccatia kind of like just again she looks like she's trying to look casual, but kind of obvious that she's there if people know how to look out for her. I think people will probably notice the four of you. One of you's got a bone mohawk. The other one's wearing a Viking helmet. I think people will definitely like notice. I think there are some folks who are like, "Oh shit, something's about to go down." The chat there. Yeah, Iktomi's just business casual, and Spectre is there. I think Spectre is probably like kind of known to like.
I may in fact be blending in with the crowd.
Ooh.
It almost in a way that could be used for creeping.
Yeah. Is this creeping in a manner that is straight up?
Indeed.
All right, roll your mundane, would you kindly?
I think that's a.
You got a 1.
+1 currently.
I love that in the roll for your party. It's just Wrath Carl there.
That's a mixed success, which I think is about the best I've ever managed on this roll. So,
you've succeeded this roll once.
I did. There was one time that I actually succeeded on this roll. Yeah. Yes. So I get one question on a 7 to 9, which is. Who or what here is not what they seem?
Okay, that's a big question. I think you'll see this just as like the crosswalk, or where the pedestrian crossing turns green, and this like people moving across. There's like it's quite a big number of people as well, which is a bit strange. And Desiccatia walks with this crowd, and you see one of the cars that stopped. You see actually, there's a few normal cars, and there's this one big like heavy duty sort of truck. Well, not truck, a van. Well, not a van. A van. Big van with like tinted windows. For sure, kind of like just stopped as this throng of people is crossing the street, and here's the what not really seems, because obviously Desiccation's there. She's not what she seems, but you see like there are some folks kind of like in the crowd, kind of like older looking like men and women, and you see one or two of them looking nervously at her as if like they know that she's there, or they're waiting for some sort of signal. You're muted there.
Oh, so I am. Yes, I'm going to. I'll kind of keep. I'll probably like try and like unobtrusively move up towards one of these people that's waiting in the crowd, just for if something kicks off.
All right. I'm gonna ask what the other three are doing before, and then we'll see what happens if things kick off. So you'll see. So the three of you will see Spectre kind of break off from y'all and just move into the crowd as they're crossing, and this is happening in like seconds. Because it doesn't take that long for a crowd of people to cross the street. Do any of you do?
I
And
think
we're,
Sia is kind of. Oh, go ahead.
I'm saying, we're down. Are we down on the ground now, or is like the narrative where I put C and I on top of a building still hold true?
If you want.
Because I think like if we're on the ground, it'll be a much different reaction.
Okay.
And I also don't want to. Basically, I'm just going to call out Desiccacia's mortal name and try and like go over friendly like.
If you want to do that, then you can be on the ground.
Yeah, that could have happened maybe a little bit earlier, and then you sort of made your way down, and then that's when I imagine that maybe we had been first, and so the Spectre caught up and went into the crowd as you were coming down the fire escape or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Iktomi just calls out her name, waves, looks all friendly, and is just walking towards the crowd, crossing the street for a jaywalking.
Cool. I want to know then where Carl and where Wrath and C are positioning themselves before we resolve this.
So, Carl's obviously got his helmet on and everything, but he doesn't actually cross the street. He just he still got his shoulders hunched. He still looks pissed off, and he just sidles up to like a tree that's been planted alongside the sidewalk and like leans up against it kind of unobtrusively, and watches from there. And like he lets his hand like dangle next to the tree, so he's ready if anything does kick off. But he wants to see how all this plays out.
Ooh. Cool. I might come back to you because I think you're triggering a basic move. But Sia, where are you positioning yourself? Are you still on the roof or are you down the ground?
Yeah. I think I'm probably thinking the same thing that Wrath was in a way. I'm thinking and I'm imagining I'm still on a fire escape, maybe halfway down towards the ground, ready to move and support Spectre if something does go bad, and then kind of taken aback by Iktomi just wandering and calling out to Desiccacia. And I think Sia's greatest worry is the fact that this was called in by the police, which means that they are either watching or they will be soon. And I think she's keeping an eye out for any police officers or police cameras or police vans that might be ready to engage and complicate the situation.
I was gonna get Wrath to do this, but I'll get you to do it. That sounds like an assessing the situation, what you're doing.
Okay. I don't mean to steal your surveillance move there.
No, that's fine.
So that's with Superior.
Yes. And that's barely a 7. Actually, no, that's a 13. It's double 16.
Yeah, that's just barely a complete and utter success. So you have 2 questions.
Yeah. My first question is going to be, how could we best end this quickly?
I think clearly the focal point is Desiccacia, and I think you can tell. You can probably see a glimpse of what Spectre saw, which is like, and again, this is happening in seconds. Just as like as Iktomi yells out Desiccation's name, we'll get to that. You see, like, there are some folks who turn, have noticed Iktomi, and I think you see Desiccation kind of like her attention is got. I think what you'll get is that, like, she's the focal point. If you can get her away from this place, and specifically get her away, then that will be the quickest way to end what's about to happen. Which you don't even know what it is, but you know something's about to happen.
Yeah. And I think this probably answers my second question then, but what here is the biggest threat? Would that be desiccation, what she's about to do? Or is there a little more information there?
What here is the biggest threat? I'm trying to figure out how you would get this, but here's how you get this. A bunch you see, like, in the behind the van, like a couple more nondescript, like, sort of white vans are idling in the corner, just kind of pop by around the corner, and suddenly it feels like there's a vibe coming off the one with the tinted windows, the big black one. I'm not sure how you'd actually get that, but yeah, you kind of get the feeling that, like, Desiccation is the focal point, but she's not, like, the biggest threat.
Gotcha. Okay, that's surprising.
Yeah. All right. So, let's cut to Iktomi. So, what do you yell out to get Desiccation's attention?
Yeah. Besides her name, I think it's I slip our old code word that meant, like, help or, like, defense or whatever. And, like, I'm just back from Pinkberry and I got blackberries on my Sunday. It made me think of you, but I'm trying to pierce the mask.
Cool. All right. You don't have influence over her. That's fine. Roll plus mundane.
That is a 10, but since she is a villain, I get 3.
Oh, God. Love that move. Wrong side of the tracks. All right, cool. You've got 3 questions.
What are you? What does she want me to do?
So you say you've got you came back from the berry. That's your code word. I think she's wearing that. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting the name of that. The burqa, yes. Her eyes kind of like, her eyes kind of like widen a bit, as if, like, she was a bit surprised to see you there. And then she says, I'm surprised you haven't gotten sick, given what I've heard of those berries, which is code for you shouldn't be here. Or, like, yeah. I'm doing fine right now.
How could I gain influence over her?
What was your relationship like with her? Let's color this a bit.
It was very, like, I think it was, like, actually very romantic, not in that, like, cheesy villain thing, like, we'd rob banks and, like, split the money or things like, actually, like, we'd go to movies, we'd talk about our innermost desires and shit like that, things that villains shouldn't do. That's why it's amicable.
Yeah. I think for your words to, like, matter to her, at least at this moment, let's see. I think the next thing she says is trying to figure out. I think what you get, I think you'll get is, like, if you want her to, like, start carrying on, I think she'll want you to do as she just said right there, to, like,
leave her alone.
Yeah. Get away for the moment.
And final one, what does she intend to do?
So you see that van. You see there's some folks as the two of you are kind of crossing, and this is happening in seconds, and suddenly you realize, oh, you recognize some of these people. There's, well, as far as you recognize mooks anyway, hired goons, so to speak. And you see like the you see like three vans, like nondescript white vans, and then you see that like the car in front of the black van, and you'll recognize the driver, and it's Hive on the steering wheel, and the and you see Desiccacia's eyes. Actually, no, it's not Hive. No, Hive's we've kind of met Hive already. I think you just recognize the driver as like, oh, it's someone from the Spider's employ. And you see you see like one of the three vans it starts revving up, and you see that like Desiccacia's gaze goes to the van with the tinted windows, and like whatever she's intending to do involves that van.
And I'll chuckle a bit, and it's like, just like old times. Too bad they're not. And I think his hands begin crackling with the psychic venom.
Oh my god. Okay, so before things kick off, we've been here for an hour, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a quick 5-minute break. We'll come back at the top of the hour, and then good luck. Well, it shouldn't be too bad. You'll be fine. It's simple,
good.
simple superheroics. 5 minutes. BRB.
I'm a shapeshifter, apples masquerade, hiding both place and night, all free for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter, what else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dawn. Moments of calm, nothing left to be found. A mirror right in front of me is where I found an empty glass, reflecting that's a truth. It's telling what's not to be told. I need that mask. I'm a shapeshifter. Apples masquerade, heart in both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter, chained down to my core. Please don't take off my mask, my place to hide.
that. Yeah, everyone's back. How's everyone doing so far? Is everyone good? Cool. All right. All right. Let's see how this is gonna break down. I think your hands crackle with venom, Iktomi, and I think Desiccatia kind of does this like little titter, and she kind of says like, let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase. Oh, she says like, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen you play hero before, so this is gonna be interesting. As a white van slams into the back of the black one with the tinted windows, and two other vans kind of like squeal into place. And Spectre, I'm gonna cut to you first because you'll see. Actually, no, I'll cut. Spectre, you're in the crowd, so you'll see like some of the people you noticed have been acting shifty. Suddenly start. Looks like some of them are pulling stuff out of their coats, some of them pulling stuff out of their purses, and you can see they're about to pull out like some firearms. As Desiccation looks like. Well, you also saw Iktomi just. You heard Iktomi call out the Desiccation as well. But yeah,
I just want to ask a question. Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually want to know. I thought that was really cool what you just said, like where Desiccatia said, "I don't think I've ever seen you be a hero before." I just wondered if that had any effect on Iktomi, or if that was like a provocation or anything like that. I just thought that was a cool phrase.
That was Desiccation being playful. I don't know how Iktomi's going to respond to that. Has Ferret gone gray for everyone? Oh, no, there you go. You're back. Sorry, the internet's being weird. Where I am, I think.
Yeah, I've heard everything, but it's. Should I do a pithy comeback or let? I think we should just let Spectre have his moment right now.
Yeah, Spectre, what do you think of doing?
Yeah, so it looks like these people are making a move on the black van. Yeah, so I think I think I was positioning myself towards by sort of one of these people, and I think as they start reaching for their gun, I think we also see like Spectre reaching into his bag and putting his mask on. And as they're pulling the gun out, I think, we see him sort of grab onto their arm, twist it, and then probably do the thing where he like ejects the clip on the gun and drops them both to the ground in a way that is like, once that's been done, that's it. The gun doesn't work anymore. There's I think starts running towards sort of the next armed person in the crowd and attempting to sort of grapple them down. And I think what I'm probably going for here is a sort of defend type. I'm not sure whether I'm more interested in defending like the crowd or the van itself. I think probably defending the van, maybe.
Yeah. Either way, you're defending something.
Yeah,
so that's fine. And the nice thing with this playset is that it introduces mechanics for fighting groups of mooks. So this totally fits that.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, you could totally have engaged. You could have directly engaged this group of mooks as well. I was gonna offer that to you, but no, this defense sounds good as well.
But yeah, no, that's what I'm more concerned about at the minute is like trying to stop it before it kicks. Well, no, not stop it before it kicks off. But yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not interested in beating them. I'm interested in stopping what's going to happen.
Oh yeah. Actually, you know what? Before we resolve that, let's do team mechanics because we're now in it, so to speak. So when you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, we'll say Desiccation is quite dangerous on her own. Well, depending on what's going to happen here. I'm going to add 2 to the team pool. There's now 3 overall. Who's the leader?
I will step up if no one else does, but yeah.
Yeah, Spectre.
Cool.
All right, cool. So, does Spectre have influence over every teammate?
No. I didn't say he was a good leader.
Does he have influence on anyone?
No.
Oh, Jesus. Does everyone have the same purpose in the fight?
I feel like no.
No, it's a, you're for a team. You're all quite riven. Does any team member mistrust the leader or the team?
Yeah.
I think Carl mistrusts Iktomi, but he doesn't. I don't know if that means the team.
I kind of feel like for our purposes, that would. I kind of like saying that if there's any sort of lack of cohesion, even amongst two people, that the team isn't the full fighting force that it could be.
Especially
I agree.
given how central Iktomi's relationship to Desiccatia is to what
Definitely.
we're doing, I think that mistrust is significant.
Okay.
Cool. Well, not cool because you're going to lose a team. I will say the leader can take on a condition to avoid removing a team from the pool. But if you're not going to do that, then yeah, team goes back to 2. Is the team ill prepared or off balance?
I'm going to argue that no, we're not, because we came into this knowing something was up. We didn't necessarily know what it was, but we were, we weren't sandbagged, sort of thing. We knew that this was stuff was going to happen.
I agree with that assessment. I think we came in as prepared as we could be.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm down for that. So now your team is at 2.
I will also mark insecure to avoid losing one of those. Also, I've marked on the wrong one to avoid marking to avoid losing one of those team.
You do realize you're going to take a -2 to defend if you mark insecure.
Oh, is insecure defend?
Yeah, insecure's a defend one.
Oh, insecure is. Oh, yes. Sorry, stand is because it's for some reason that one isn't bolded. Yeah, on the thing, so I didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's fair. That's fair. I'll take that.
Okay. You don't have to do it. Like, well, you still have a +1 because your savior is ridiculous.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll see how your defending of the crowd or the van against the spider mooks will do. Then I'm going to turn to Wrath. So, all right, roll plus savior.
On the plus side, that insecure didn't make a difference because I rolled a double 1. So
oh yeah, yeah, that's amazing. All right, you are okay. I think you're. Here's the thing. You are. Okay, all right. Okay, here's what happens. You will knock down a few of the mooks for sure. You'll disarm some of them, and you said you're making a run. You were making a run for something specific. Sorry.
Just sort of. I was going to try and like immobilize the mook I was nearest, and then move on to the next one, sort of thing. But
As you move on to the next one, the car that was on front suddenly like just shifts forward and slams against you. Take a powerful blow.
Sure thing.
If you go to the neighborhood tab, there is a modified take a powerful blow. The main modification really is that it takes away you lose your control of your powers into you take a serious injury.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be happening because I just rolled a 9 and I've got 1 condition marked. So
Ooh. So on a 10+, choose one. Remove yourself from the situation. Get seriously injured, which is a -1 ongoing until you receive medical attention, or 2 from 7 to 9.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take take a serious injury. I think. That sounds fun.
Yeah. His car smashes into you, and I think you're going to be flung to the crowd as like the folks who aren't spider mooks kind of like try to melt away. But yeah, there's at least 6 folks of varying people, and they pulled out guns and they start kind of like surrounding the van as like these other 3 vans kind of like surround a lot of things surrounding this black van, including the car. I'm gonna cut to Wrath. You've been watching this from the tree. This kerfuffle going on. You see Iktomi's charging up their psionic venom and standing next to Desiccatia. Spectre just got hit by a car. Wrath, what do you do?
How far away is Wrath from Desiccatia? He's like across the street, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it is. That's how it is in my mind.
Yeah, because you said you were next to the tree.
Yeah.
Which is probably like nearer to the park side. So yeah, you can get there for sure. Like, I mean, you're the most like super powered out of, well, not the most super powered. You got a cool sword, while people are bone stuff and psionic venom. But yeah, what do you want to do?
So, he sees Iktomi like begin to charge up his hands, and I think he's seen this before. I mean, they know each other, I think, well enough that he recognizes what's about to happen. So, he takes one step in front of the tree, and in the next panel, he's like reaching back over his shoulder, like he's going to pull from a scabbard, but instead he pulls the sword straight from the tree trunk and just like runs forward and tries to strike at Desiccatia with the sword.
Okay.
So he's going to directly engage.
Straight up directly engage. All right, cool. Roll plus danger, and you can clear angry.
Right.
For sure.
He's venting. Okay, so he got an 8.
Yeah. So on a 7-9, you're gonna trade blows. On a hit, you trade blows. On a 7-9, pick one.
I'm gonna create an opportunity for Iktomi to hit her. I'm gonna open up her guard so Iktomi's blow can hit her full force.
Yeah. All right. So what does it look like when you? I think here's what happens. Iktomi was like here's that kind of what you see in the comic. We cut back to like Iktomi. Her hands are filling with psionic venom, and then from out of nowhere, you just Wrath just barrels through with a sword, and I think Desiccatia just kind of like leaps back at the last moment, and I think you can't. I don't know how you can tell that she's smiling because she's wearing a breakup, but you can kind of tell, and she kind of like dashes forward towards you, and I think Wrath, that like her main thing is that like she has her touch is. You don't want to get touched by her, but I think you kind of leap back, and it kind of turns into like this, not melee, I suppose, but like you've got her attention as you kind of like you're slashing forward, and she's just dodging back and trying to get under your guard, so to speak. So you've got her attention, but you didn't pick resist or avoid their blows. You're not gonna get hit by a powerful blow. I don't think so, because you got their attention, create an opportunity. But I think you feel that like she will get her. There are like tiny moments where like her touch gets to you, and then you feel your energy sort of like not energy, but like you feel like your body kind of like just getting just a bit tighter, just like a bit less energetic. She's kind of like by a 1,000 tiny little like cuts, whittling you down a bit. So you're gonna take another condition.
Okay, can that trigger been reading the files when I first encounter an important superpowered phenomenon? I can roll.
Yeah. Go ahead, roll plus superior.
So plus superior, that's an 11.
All right. So on a hit, tell your team one important detail you've learned from your studies. So you get to tell me what you've learned about this about this.
So
from the files, or from whatever. Well, what files does your mentor have, or your resources? Like,
so everything that Sigmund has is sort of like arcane focused. So like in the files that Sigmund has, or that Wrath has read of Sigmund's, he likens this to sort of like a vampiric effect because it's like leeching the life out of something. And he's read about this kind of creature that can do that. But what he read about in those files was the kind of creature that can leech that. Whenever they leech that energy from something else, they also lose it from themselves. So every time that she leeches something, she also diminishes herself. It kills her a little bit.
Hmm.
So that's what he remembers.
Yeah. And the GM will tell you what, if anything seems different from what you remember. Yeah. I think what you got the idea that, like, yeah, the more she leeches, the more like it kills her. And you're not seeing it in display. It doesn't seem like she's slowing down at all. I think what you actually get is like um normally that would be the case, but here's the thing you'll notice. You're swinging your sword, and there's a moment where, like, you see it, it kind of comes up to you at the panel, and you can see your spectral sword has actually diminished quite a bit. So, and you'll get the sense that, like, she's offsetting whatever, if this detail is true, that she's offsetting whatever's being drained out of her by draining the energy from your sword, or your sword is being diminished somehow as you're keeping on this fight. I don't know if you want to make it like she's an energy drainer. It's not really what her power is, but, like, you can tell your sword is draining quite a bit in this fight. On a 10 plus, you could ask a
Okay.
follow-up question.
Okay. Does she know she's doing this? Like, is she aware that she's draining the sword? Like, is she doing it intentionally?
I'm gonna ask Iktomi this, because you know her best.
I don't think she does. I don't think she knows. I think she knows she's killing herself. Like, I think she doesn't come from a sect where they wear a burqa normally, but she's becoming more golem-like as she steals liquids.
Yeah, and it's probably like it's a minute. It's a very minute sort of transformation, probably. Yeah, I think you'll get that from your files as well, from your mentor's resources, Wrath.
Okay.
So,
And I'm gonna take insecure because his sword is diminishing.
oh
Is the
no.
condition from the damage.
All right. So, I'm gonna cut to Sia. So melee has broken out.
Yeah.
Spectre is probably lying on the ground.
Mhm.
Iktomi and Wrath seems to have desiccation kind of like cornered a bit, but again, those mooks are surrounding the van, and the two vans on either side of the target van. We'll just call it the target van because I don't have to keep saying van with tinted windows. Two white
It has
vans.
flowers on it.
No, it's a big sort of feck off, I'm too important for y'all sort of van. Yeah, it wouldn't have flowers, sadly. The two vans on the other side, their sliding doors open, and you see like two more folks, one mook per van, pull out like machine guns pointing at at the target van. They're
Oh shit.
yeah, they want this van bad.
So I think that what we see is that we know Sia really wants to remove Desiccatia from this encounter because she knows that that's what would stop this. But I think we have a flashback, a very corny flashback to Setere and I need to remember the actual name. Setere and Caetano racing. And there's that moment, and we see on like the camera, we see Caetano's face, and then the scene kind of acid washes over into the scene where Spectre pulls off his mask in the lighthouse. And we see that there's this connection now that Sia knows who's who. And there's this initial lurch to jump towards this acacia. There's a lurch to jump towards the van. But then she leaps off the fire escape and goes straight towards Spectre to help him in the street.
Yeah. Cool. So you're standing in defense of Spectre.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So-
Yep.
I just want to ask, is there anyone like directly attempting to hurt him right now, or is it just him recovering from being hit by the van?
He got hit with a van, and I think, let's see, I mentioned 6 mooks. There's at least one of them covering him because he's clearly he's the Shoreline Spectre. They're teenage superheroes. God, this city's lousy with them. So I think I'll say there are like 2. As he's kind of lying on the ground, there are 2 that are like moving in to like moving in with like their pistols to I don't know, at least keep him there.
Okay.
So you can totally
So-
yeah.
Could this be an activation of my game face move where I've decided to save someone?
Yeah, so when you commit yourself to save someone or defeat a terrible enemy, mark a condition and take +1 going to all rolls in direct pursuit of that goal. So, I will say that like for this move, it's a continuous thing, for sure. Like say like, oh, you need to save a loved one or whatnot, or you want to defeat a terrible foe. Like if this is just to save Spectre, it's gonna be fulfilled once you. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, if
I mean,
it's-
unless I get myself into trouble again, which is highly
Oh, yes.
unlikely, I will admit. But
Yeah. You know what? Let's do this. Yeah, doing the unique move is always more interesting. And yeah, if Spectre gets into trouble again, you get a +1 to helping them out.
okay. I think my imagination for the use of this move is that Sia has kind of accepted that they're not going to defeat this acacia, and they're not going to get this done. Like we have a team member who's hurt, and we need to just make sure that this is okay. And then if everything goes bad, that's okay. But we have to make sure we all get out okay. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool. So mark a condition. How are you feeling?
I think she's feeling. I think actually she feels guilty, and this is more of a kind of a personal thing that's coming up now in this situation. Some repressed emotion, but she feels guilty that she was so focused on doing what, in her mind, on what was necessary to win, that she let Spectre get hurt. In her mind, regardless if she had control of that or not.
Oh no. All right.
And it's kind of
Roll.
coming back to her mind that like there's probably people in my life that I'm letting get hurt right now because I'm
Oh,
doing
God.
something else.
Yeah. Well, you're doing something important. You're helping save someone. So roll plus savior. Do you have influence over Spectre?
yeah, everyone
I
has
do.
influence over
I
me
do.
because
An
Oh yeah,
open
you're
book.
the beacon. Yeah, you're an open book. Yeah, so you're gonna take a +1 because
Okay.
you're rolling towards someone who you have influence over.
That'll count. That'll remove my negative savior, and I'll have +1 just for the game phase. So I'm
Yes.
gonna roll now, and it's a failure.
Oh my
Excellent.
god. Oh my god. Okay. Mark potential. So how do you? Okay. Here we go. How do you dispatch these 2 mooks over Spectre?
Mhm.
Because you're gonna dispatch them. You're gonna
Yeah,
beat
yeah.
them up. How do you do it?
Stop me if this is too dark, but I think that she accidentally kills one of them.
Hmm.
I want consensus from the whole team that this is the kind of story you want to play.
Well, because I'll say right now, what's gonna happen is, and this might color whether you want to kill one of them or not.
Mhm.
Is that like however you dispatch your mooks, when you look up after you're done beating them, you're gonna be looking into the eyes of your mother, who's gonna be in that crowd.
Oh my god. Okay, then I think one of them definitely has to die, or at least be dying. And I think she came with this great intention to save Spectre, but then this rage takes over her when she starts being violent. And I think she has these bone blades that come out of her elbows, and they're not supposed to be blades, but they're more like batons. But perhaps in her rage, she sharpened one a little bit too much, and I think that it actually goes through one of the mooks in his stomach. And she's actually surprised actually that this happened. And I think that as he falls off her blade, she sees the eyes of her mother.
Yeah, your mother, who looks really horrified. She's got like she's dropped like a bag of groceries next to her feet, and she's covered her mouth just because she just saw this display. How are you feeling? You're gonna mark another condition there. See ya.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is. Let's see. I think this is fear. I think this is afraid of herself, afraid of having to look her mother in the eyes later when she comes home, and kind of afraid of who she's become or becoming.
Oh God. Yeah, let's cut away from you. Oh boy. To Iktomi. Desiccatia is you got an opportunity there. Desiccacia's caught in this melee with Wrath. What do you do?
I believe that Iktomi's seen the guys with the machine guns come out, and he's done like a bit of calculating, and he gets close behind Desiccatia, and he knows her fighting style intimately. So he knows when she goes in for a huge unbalancing strike to try and like just wrap her arms around Wrath and end the fight, which like Wrath obviously dodges, and so he comes up behind her, grabs her like by the hood and the outfit, turns her towards the guy with the gun, and says, "Who's playing, sweetheart?" And then lets the psionic blast go. I'm trying to unleash my powers to launch her at the men with guns to take away their positioning.
All right. Okay. Robust freak there.
Too bad I didn't walk away and have influence over her, but
Yeah.
got an 8.
Hey. All right. So, either take a condition, or I'll tell you how this effect is unstable or temporary.
I'm not like the rest of the group. I'm not going to mark a condition.
Okay. So all right. You're gonna grab her and launch her at the folks with the machine guns. That's what you said, right?
This is like when Miles Morales like touched the Kingpin at the very climax of Spider-Verse.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, and you want to jostle their positioning. Okay. So here's what happens. You're gonna jostle their positioning, sure, but because it's gonna happen because he's got that hit. So you launch her at the folks with the machine guns, and I think this is gonna happen in a split moment. She's gonna like go into one of them, and it's gonna rustle the van, but like, give me a moment while I try to figure out how this is unstable or temporary.
Maybe it's unstable because the people in the van now have an opportunity to get out. Or it just makes them have to move to another position to shoot.
Oh, okay. Actually, here's why it's unstable or temporary. Yeah, I think as the folks in the machine gets jostled, the target van. Trying to figure out. Yeah. If you got another suggestion, because I thought I had an idea, and then it suddenly flitted out of my mind.
Let me just mark a condition, because I think I'll just.
You sure?
Yeah, I mean, I did just launch my exit. I think I'm kind of hopeless because this doesn't seem that great.
No, it doesn't, does it? Okay. All right. Let me look at some specific villain moves. Give me a second. All right. I'm gonna cut to Spectre. How are you feeling, Spectre?
In pain. That's definitely a thing. Like this isn't really going very well. Like probably what I need to do is something really stupid.
Oh my god.
That's
You don't need to, but
I mean, technically no, but no, I think so yeah, I think kind of we've seen like I think like Spectre kind of scrambles to his feet, and we can probably see he's like winces as he puts his weight on one leg because it's probably been maybe not broken, but probably at least maybe severely bruised / dislocated. He's not entirely stable on it. But I think he is going to he's going to pull himself up. I think he's going to not like he sort of does kind of push past Sia, not in a kind of like, but just in a sort of like, so I think is just seeing that moment where they've kind of frozen after what they've done. I think that he'll just kind of put a hand on the shoulder and move past them. And he's just going to throw himself towards the people surrounding the van and just start trying to lay into them, basically, but potentially ineffectually. But
potentially. Let's see. Yeah, you're directly engaging a gang of mooks. Unfortunately, you do not count as a small gang. You are just a small person. Well, not small, but like but you are standing strong or dramatically under fire. And I don't know, the horrible feeling on your ribs probably counts.
sure thing. Yep, that sounds good.
Is it possible to spend team to assist in this situation?
Yeah, well, you can do that after the roll. We'll see if the roll needs it. Yeah, so directly engage with Savior. It's with Savior.
That makes it a 7.
Yay! There we go. Sorry, no need for the team for now. But yeah, suck at the mission. I'll let you roll with Savior. Hell yeah. So pick one. Oh wait, no, you have a -1 ongoing.
I do. That's a 6. Yep.
All right. So Sia, how are you helping this? How are you helping?
Yeah. I think there's this moment where Sia sees Spectre getting up and going to fight, and she's like, "Wait, shit, don't!" And then she's like, "All right, I'm going in too." And then she goes in to help, pushes all her emotions down as she normally does, and it's time to take care of business.
Hell yeah. All right, so I'm going to deduct a team from the pool, and it's just like, the two of you laying into these gang of mooks. All right, cool. So Spectre, you're back to a 7. On the hit, trade bows. On the 79, pick one.
Sorry, just lost my place in the PDF. Right, yes. So I think how do I want to do this? I think that I think I just want to impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
What you wanted to go like, oh my god, it's the Shoreline Spectre. No.
I mean, yeah, more just that, like, they thought that I was out of the fight, and despite the fact I'm just like, it's possible that Sia is actually doing more to achieve this effect than I am, but the fact that I'm just like throwing punches at them when they're armed is enough to kind of unnerve them.
Yeah.
Because it's like this just seems like a kid in a hockey mask punching us. He must have some sort of power we don't know about.
Yeah. I think. Oh, here's why your folks are impressed. They're surprised or frightened by you. I think the Sia being the bone punk helps, but I think amidst the melee, I think when people like come at you, there's this like their eyes kind of like widen. There is a look of recognition, and it's almost like they slacken or like they just like. I don't know how you can tell. Like they're not that they're pulling their punches, but like, and not to like bruise your ego too much, but there is a point where like it feels like they're not trying their best against you, and you're just punching them out really quickly. I don't know what that's about. But I think I'm gonna be nice and say you don't get hit. You're not gonna take a powerful blow, but no, I'll be nice. It'll be fine. I think you'll be taking care of these spooks. Hold on, let me just mark a thing. There we go. All right, I'm gonna cut to Wrath. I think so. Desiccation has been launched into the folks with the machine guns in the van. You see her. Like kind of like about to emerge, and then you see like. There's so many people. You see folks, the driver because there are 3 vans. I've only detailed 2 so far. The third van, the one behind the target van, you see like 2 of them are coming out from 2 more mooks are coming out with more guns, and finally you hear police sirens in the distance. This is turning quite chaotic. What do you do, Wrath?
So he hears police sirens in the distance. Yeah, I'm gonna do that anyway. So he's just seen Desiccation get like launched, and Sia just killed someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine they're kind of like perhaps not dead yet, but they're just bleeding on the ground.
Yeah.
But you're like, are you bloody? Like your bone spurs and whatnot?
Yeah.
So Wrath actually like he sees all this happening and he just like pumps his fist in the air and is like, "Yeah, I love this crew. See ya, put him in a body bag." And he's actually gonna try to influence Sia's labels.
Oh.
Oh wow. Okay.
Since he's got influence over Sia.
Mm.
So he's gonna try to move his danger up. Her danger.
Hold on. Let me double check. It's like I don't think you can just do that willy nilly. You can. You're trying to tell them their place in the world. All right, actually, you can't do that willy nilly. I forgot about that. Yes, you can do that willy nilly. See, are you gonna accept that?
Yeah, I think that she's in a very impressionable state right now.
I probably should have asked what the label shift is going to be first. So Wrath, what are you shifting your labels?
I think danger up and savior down.
Wow.
Despite Sia's attempts to be a savior, this danger keeps going up and up and up.
Well, look, it's what your mask embodies, for sure. All right. Okay. Is that all you wanted to do, Wrath?
If there's still time, like Wrath is just gonna wade into combat with those two guys that just emerged with guns.
All right.
So
cool.
he'll charge directly into the 2 of them.
Okay. Hell yeah. Directly engage them. That's with danger. What's up?
Yeah. So he got a 10.
God. All right, y'all rolling like champs. You are gonna pick two instead of one.
So, he's gonna resist their blows, but also like the first strike as he runs up, he's gonna like slash his blade through the barrels of both of their guns and disarm them.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, let me just mark the stuff and damn. Yeah, I think no, you're gonna do it. You're gonna beat yeah, you've knocked them out and you've thoroughly taken control of the situation, at least with the mooks. I think Iktomi, cut to you. You see the van where Desiccation kind of like you smash Desiccation towards. It sees that like they've clearly lost the situation and the van starts revving up to like get away. What do you do, Iktomi?
Oh, great. Now I have a choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think I'm going to I'm going to let the van rev up and like move out of the way if it gets me close to the van they were targeting.
Ooh. So you're gonna let the van go?
I'm not going to jump in the van and stop anything. No, because I don't want to be taken back to Auntie Mame. And but once the van is gone, I'll like go up to the target van and start like guiding them out of the trap that they were labeled. Like get them past the crowds and everything like that. Just guide them to where they need to go to pull off for questioning.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the main beat I wanted to get was like you letting the van go. I think your teammates were busy beating up all the other mooks to like probably not notice that.
Oh,
I think
there's one move I want to do though. I want Desiccation to be looking out of the van, and I want to like do like this again, this old touching symbol that we used to do, like, you know, the peace sign or the heart thing, and I want to comfort and support Desiccation as she is riding off.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Roll plus mundane.
Well, that's a 5.
Yeah, she doesn't make the sign back.
Is this going to be a like custom reform thing, and I mark obligation, or?
Actually, you know what? Yeah, mark another obligation. Actually, is there a max? Let me double check that.
Max obligation is 4. She'll break into my life something that she needs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna bank that for later. Mark potential and all that. But yeah, she doesn't make some. In fact, she's kind of like gives you this like stare. And I think you can tell that like she's not disappointed in you. She's disappointed in all of this. But I think I will actually. You know what? One of your teammates will notice you letting the van go. I'm just gonna fold that in. You know what? Keep making these hard moves. Yeah.
That's perfectly okay. I would hope that happened on the miss.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be Wrath. Sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think it has to be Wrath.
Yeah, because Spectre's injured and Sia. We'll get to you and your mom in a moment, but I think Wrath. You'll notice that like Iktomi had a chance to do something with that van with Desiccation, but no, you just let them go. Yeah. So we'll get to like the fallout of all this in a moment. But yeah, you're gonna Iktomi, you're gonna guide the van out. I think but at this point the police have arrived. And the tinted van, the target van, the doors open and out steps. We never named that politician, did we? I'm gonna give him a name. He feels like a him. His first name is Garrison. I know that. He's for some reason I'm picturing in my mind that he's Aaron Eckhart for sure, like Harvey Dent era, Dark Knight era, Aaron Eckhart, big strong jaw, big strong justice chin on him. Yeah, Garrison Kane. I don't know. People like, okay, there we go. That's his name. Garrison Kane, and he just like steps out, and he's like, he's large for sure, but he kind of like has this dominating presence, and he kind of like, I think the people who come up to him first were like the police. I don't know. Are the four of you sticking around as soon as you see that he's the one stepping out of the van?
No, I think Sia's trying to. Her game face is to save Spectre, so she's trying to get Spectre out of there, like maybe supporting if he's walking with a limp or something.
Yeah, that sounds cool. And yes, Spectre, if it's clear that the threat has passed, then he's not super interested in hanging around and speaking to Garrison. So yeah, he's happy to be assisted off.
Cool. What about Iktomi and Wrath?
No. I'm gone.
It's not a move for absconding, is there? Yeah, everyone needs to roll their volatile. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, yeah, you all melt away as soon as like. I guess I'm curious. Is like, do you all go in your separate ways? For sure.
I'm going with Sia and Spectre to make sure Spectre gets the medical attention he needs. He got hit by a fucking van.
Wrath, what are you up to? Are you coming? Is everyone coming along? I guess to get.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say like the four of you dash into the park, and I think we'll get like a shot of the police sergeant kind of like being apologetic to Garrison Kane. God, I'm already angry at that name. And he's not really paying attention. I think he's watching the direction of where the four of you are going, for sure. But yeah, I guess we can cut back to maybe the lighthouse, or do we want? Let's see. I guess let's not do another unless people want to do another like group scene. I think we'll just stick to like if folks want to talk to each other or something, and then because we're nearing the end. Well, not the end, but like, but yeah, as you're kind of like breaking away, is there people they want to talk to amongst at least the four of you?
I think.
I think Sia does too.
Yeah, no, I wanted to just have this comment where I think. Wait, I'm sorry. What did Wrath say? Was he coming with the group?
Oh yeah, sorry, I thought I was muted. Yeah, he's with the group.
Okay, so I think there's just this moment where Sia's supporting Spectre, and they're kind of like making their way, and as Wrath joins the group, Sia's impressed, and it's like that was pretty effective what you did back there against those armed guys.
Wrath like lays a hand on Sia's shoulder and says, "Same to you. You dealt with that the only way you could have."
And I think there's this long nod, like there's an appreciation of the support that Sia wouldn't get for that kind of action anywhere else.
All right, so it sounds like both of you are firing off when you share a triumphant moment team moves. For sure. I want these to fire off. We rarely get to do them. Because they're ridiculous. All right. I'll go with Wrath first. Could you read out your your triumphant celebration team move? It's a bit of a doozy.
Hang on, I don't even know where that is.
Oh,
Is
if
that
you
on the
scroll
sheet?
down, it's in the sheet. If you scroll down, there's
It's
team
right
moves.
underneath my moment of truth, actually.
Okay. The moment that you show who you really are, your mentor or something different, you can do
Oh
whatever
no,
your
no,
mentor could do and more.
that's moment of truth. That's something separate. I'm talking about team moves.
Oh, sorry.
When you share a triumphant
Okay.
celebration.
Yeah, when you share a triumphant celebration with someone, ask them if you've been a good leader or an effective teammate. If they say yes, your mentor loses influence over you and you mark potential. If they say no, your mentor gains influence over you and you take +1 forward on using the label your mentor embodies. That is long.
Yeah. Well, I think the by virtue of what we just narrated, I think that there's an agreement that you are an effective teammate. So you get to mark potential and lose that.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're doing good on your own without their influence.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
And for mine, it's when you share a triumphant celebration with someone, ask them if they see you as the person wearing the mask or the person underneath. And so I think we have an idea of that one, but
Yeah, it sounds like the former, right?
yeah, it sounds like the former, that you see me as the mask.
Yeah. I think it's the former.
Okay.
Cool.
So in this case, this is actually really nice. I'm glad you called that up. So I think that as I was touching on this, how this is sort of a nice moment to have someone so reassuring of who she's becoming. I think that takes away her fear, because she's like, okay, someone supports me in this role as the mask, and I'll mark potential.
Hell
Cool.
yeah.
That was a good call on those. I didn't even know those existed.
Yeah, no, they're good. It's just but the thing is, there's already so much going on in masks. They're kind of hard to spot, for sure. Oh, all right. What about Spectre, Iktomi? Is there anything you two of you want to call out as in this? Like, I think we'll just get these done, and then maybe we'll like do a quick scene each from each character's perspective to wrap up this session. But is there like Spectre, Iktomi, is there anything you two you want to call to say or do while the team is still together?
While the team, I think like Iktomi is also like getting under Spectre's other arm, and making sure that he's like he only needs to put weight down on one leg now. And Iktomi sort of chuckles and it's like, throughout all of that, you threw yourself into the fray, literally, and kept going. You are impressive beyond belief. I have to ask, what makes you put everything you have on the line? And I am activating my Team Triumphant move, whereas I ask you what gives you hope for a brighter day and give you influence over me.
Cool. So yeah. Spectre say, look, I ain't got much when it comes to, powers or nothing like that. So all I can do is just do the best I can. And hey, my best may not be up to what anyone else can do, but if we don't all stand up, if people don't try and make things better, nothing will ever get better. And we just by fighting, just by putting that who we are out there, I think that's the only way we're ever going to make a change in this world. I think I'm also probably activating my Confessor vulnerability there. Which is ask them to confirm or deny that I should be here.
Iktomi, what do you say to that?
And I think Iktomi doesn't really say anything. He just smiles, gets misty-eyed, and kind of chucks Spectre on the chin a bit. It's like, you're probably the best one out of us all. So yeah, you definitely belong here. You keep us together.
Cool, thank you. So yeah, I think that means I mark a potential and I give you influence over me, which you already have, so you get to shift my labels.
I'm going to shift your danger down and your mundane up.
Hell yeah. All right. So, was there anything else? I think we'll cut it there. All right. So what I'm gonna ask is like,
Oh,
like,
sorry, that was the other thing. Just while I was doing after seeing stuff, does that count as me leading the team successfully in battle?
yes, absolutely. Yes, cross out that drive. Unfortunately, you did not take down a threat all on your own, but well, we'll have time for that. Cool. Oh, all right. I think what we'll do for the rest of the session, we still got like half an hour or so. Let's do like a quick. Let's do like a quick scene each for like each character. Just like it's not it has to be that involved. Just like what do we see like in the aftermath of this? What are they doing? And if you don't have anything, I have some ideas, but like
Okay.
Is
I
that-
have a quick question.
Mhm.
Question for Iktomi's backstory with the rest of the team. How aware are we of Iktomi's relationship with this Acacia and that stuff?
I did admit to us being exes in the lighthouse.
Okay, that's right. That's right. I just wanted to clarify that before I established the scene that I wanted to have. I think maybe there's a scene where I'm imagining that perhaps we brought Spectre back to the lighthouse to help them with some like impromptu medicine because we don't trust hospitals. And then maybe there's a scene after we've. This will be out of order if he wants to do a medicine scene, but where both Iktomi and Sia are out, where the lighthouse faces the ocean, and we kind of see the breeze whipping around and can hear the waves in the distance. And I think oddly enough, Sia is still like completely like if they're ready to fight, like their blades are still out, still a little bit bloody, and they're crouching on the lip where the lighthouse falls off into the blackness. And I think neither of them are looking at each other, neither Iktomi nor Sia are looking at each other, but they're together in a way, at least physically. And Sia breaks the silence and says, it's really difficult being who we are and doing what we have to do, but I'm glad that you stuck with us, even though it was hard, even though I know you didn't want to. And I think Sia is definitely referencing how Iktomi was like violent towards Desiccatia and trying to say that, kind of referencing the moment they had earlier in the day where they talked about the things that they have to do to be who they really are.
Are you comforting and supporting me?
I think in a really like unhealthy way, yeah.
We maladaptive coping mechanisms.
Yeah. Yeah. So
all right, roll plus mundane.
roll for that. So that's an 11.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So on a hit, they hear you. They can mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels if they open up to you. On a 10 plus, you can also add a team to the pool or clear a condition yourself.
And I'm just going to say that I think that this is sort of a selfish conversation in a way, even though it's helping Iktomi. And it's set at getting over her own faults for what she's done today and not wanting to feel bad about what she did. And so kind of using Iktomi as sort of a mirror to be like, it's okay to be who we are. And so then she loses her guilty condition.
I am going to open up and I'm going to tag my own move, Dangerous Past, when I open up. And use this as you will, Leandro. I think Iktomi sort of chuckles, and it's one of those, like, I think C's been around enough to know that this one's actually humorless. And he squats down next to her and pulls out this this handkerchief that was like really well like designed and labeled and has like impressive stitching on it that has like the initials that he called out for desiccation today, and he hands it to her to wipe off. And it's like, Um, I've done horrible, unimaginable things. You guys allow me to use my powers for good. And the last time Desiccation and I were out on a mission together, I stunned an entire bank, and she dehydrated one of the politicians that was in there. And we robbed the bank, making it look like it was just a robbery gone awry, let him die, sort of a martyr to get the political aid that was under him in power, to let them know that we were the ones pulling the strings. And I want to say that I am not under extra legal threat from this. I can still be held accountable to this legally, and someone did get hurt. And I will share danger up and superior down.
Oh. Ouch.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. What about Spectre or Wrath? What do we kind of see them there? Do you want to do your? I'm gonna cut to Wrath first because we haven't heard from him in a while. Is there like a snapshot or a small scene you want to do?
Yeah, I was going to do a scene with his mentor. I think,
Mhm.
when it becomes clear that Spectre's not like fatally injured. Hang on just a second. You might want to do Spectre first. My dog is like whining.
Okay. All right, I'll take care of your dog. Spectre, how you feeling?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think what would be a.
Yeah, I was wondering where. Yeah, you must be.
Well, if it's fine. I don't want to monopolize time, but is that okay,
Oh, sorry, say
David?
that.
Sorry, that you broke up a little bit there, so I didn't quite catch.
I had wanted a scene giving medical attention to Spectre.
No, that's cool. I'd been thinking of doing like a kind of sort of healing up type scene, but I just wasn't sure quite how to frame or who with. So yeah, no, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so I think it's oh, and I also cleared a condition from opening up to see it. But I think it's like Iktomi knows the Alfred level medication or medical skills from he's reset your leg, got you like some illegal pharmaceuticals to help with the pain, and he's actually making really good food to I think give you. But I think like some of this is a bit too reminiscent of your mother's cooking, as he learned to cook from like the same crime syndicate. And Iktomi comes over with this very memorable kind of like sandwich and soup meal for Spectre, and he looks really sheepish. It's like, you were foolish but brave, and I think your leg's going to be fine this time. Just don't be trying to, throw yourself in front of any more vans. You got that?
Yeah, I must admit that was a bit of an overcalculation on my part. I thought I'd get out of there in time, but nothing ventured. But, thanks, Iktomi, for all of this. Are you okay?
This actually catches him off guard. As well as I can be, I guess. I mean, I showed my first steps of being a hero and let my ex get away, so the papers are going to have fun with this.
Look, I know it's not easy having to go up against somebody you care about. It's hell, I mean, it'll come out eventually anyway. I didn't want to get started off on the wrong foot with everyone, but the spider's my mom. I didn't know until recently. I mean, a few months back, but yeah. So that's my horse in this game.
The spider's a woman?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's been different spiders in the past, but now, yeah, that's her.
Oh. Thanks for letting me know. It seems that you're already good enough that you want to take her down, so I'm not going to ask you any of those stupid, silly family versus family questions.
I mean, I don't want to see her hurt. I still care about her that much, I guess, but I confronted her a few months back, and she's unrepentant. She's just in this for the money. She's willing to throw anyone under the bus. And
do you think you know where my parents are?
She might, I guess. We can try and find out if that's what you want.
I think he looks down and puts a hand to his forehead. I really don't know what I want right now.
I don't blame you. It's, I mean, and that's the thing of it for me, right? My mom, all the time I was growing up, she was a great person. She seemed kind and caring, and I wouldn't have grown into the person I am if it weren't for her. So when I found out what she was hiding,
she lives a story rich with scars, and we are but footnotes in her path. That is how she wishes to see it.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I'm gonna let you convalesce. I'm gonna go see if the others need anything, as he tries to leave the awkwardness behind as fast as possible.
Cool.
All right, Steve. How's the dog thing? How's the dog situation?
Yeah, he's managed to wander off with a treat, so they're calmer. So I think again, as soon as I'll set the scene. Like I think if we see like an image where everyone else is sort of watching over Spectre, Wrath is sort of like in the back again with his hands like in his pockets, kind of hunched over, and then there's another scene of the exact same thing with them taking care of Spectre, but Wrath is no longer there. Like he's just sort of faded back into the back. And then the next panel shows him like sort of slipping away from the lighthouse in the dark. And then he's in his lair with his mentor, and his speech bubble that pops up kind of says, "You were right about Iktomi. He let Desiccatia run away or get away today." You want me to narrate the whole thing? I can.
No, it's fine. No, I think Sigmund kind of like looks grave. He looks like he's carved out of rock and time. Is kind of like imagining. I assume you're muted because you're yelling at your dog, Steve. Yeah. Okay, cool. You weren't saying anything that I had to hear. Okay, cool. So they kind of like he nods with like this gravity, and he says, and perhaps it's time to. Sorry, I got distracted. There's a dog there. Cute dog. Oh my god. Oh, that's adorable. Hold on, I'm gonna look at a different tab. Oh, that's adorable. Oh no! Oh no! Ah, it's so cute. Yeah. I think yeah, so Sigmund nods and says like, then if sorry, I'm trying to figure out how they say it. Sorry, the dog kind of distracted me a bit. Yeah. If Iktomi has not truly settled on the right path, then you will have to ensure that they do. Otherwise, you will have to carry forth Graham's will. And if Iktomi does not follow the path he needs to follow, then you and him will have to become at odds with each other.
Okay. Wrath will just sort of shrug and say, again, trying to be more nonchalant than he actually is. Why do you care about Iktomi? And he's gonna. This is a pierce someone's mask, I think.
Hell yeah. Take a +1, along with your mundane.
Yeah, but he's got insecure, so that's -2, right?
No, insecure only matters if you're
Oh, never mind.
if it's in defense or if you're rejecting what other people say. The thing is, you have influence over him and he has no influence over you, which is amazing. I don't know how that happened, but team moves. But yeah, roll your mundane, you got a +1. Yeah, teamwork.
Yeah, so not 9 total.
Hell yeah, you got one question.
I guess like what are you really planning might be the most, because he did ask like, why do you care about Iktomi?
Yeah. I have a vested interest in knowing whether your friend is serious about atonement. Because if he isn't, then he is opening himself to retribution.
Again, he just kind of shrugs and pretends to look nonchalant, and then he starts working his way back to where the scrolls are kept. He's not going to say anything to Sigmund about the flickering of Graham when Desiccatia was involved with it. He's going to keep that to himself, but he is going to go and research that. But as he's like walking in that direction, he just kind of throws back over his shoulder, Sia's got potential, by the way. He killed a guy today, or she killed a guy today.
Sigmund, like, again, does that very grave nod. She knows what needs to be done. I just hope she knows the price she's paying. And I think if you don't mind, we'll cut from there. If that's okay. That sounds like a line to cut to. Let's see. Did everyone get a scene to frame? I think everyone did. So let's just do like one last like parting image from each character. I do want to add that, like, I think when we cut to that, I think Sia, when we cut to Sia, I guess, you see, you when you finally get a chance to look at your phone, you see like you got a lot of messages from your younger sibling, from let's see, what's their name, Nilu. Yeah. What's Nilu's pronouns actually?
She, her.
Cool. Yeah, you got a lot of messages from Nilu, from her, and saying like, "Mom's not okay." Well, she's fine, but she's clearly not okay. Something happened. Well, she got caught up in stuff. Is Can you come home soon?
Yeah, and I think in this scene, like, Sia's still been like on that balcony of the lighthouse, and there's kind of like this retraction of all the bones that are sticking out of her, and her posture changes, and she looks up from her phone at the group, and you can see kind of like her on the outside staring in to everyone talking, or not talking inside the lighthouse, but she's outside, and then we see her kind of like fall off the back of the lighthouse and leave.
Oh no, we got two brooding emo. Well, everyone's kind of emo, but like I guess we got a spectrum of emo here. Oh yeah, by the way, you succeed in your goal in protecting Spectre market potential because that's part of the move. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to add that, and then like yeah, what's like the last shot of each character as we like close this like issue, so to speak. Unless you think those are good enough shots. That's a good enough shot to end with Sia slinking off from the lighthouse.
I think I can give one for Wrath. I think with him, like, there's just an image of him like reading these old scrolls by candlelight on this like old oak desk with, you know, the flickering Graham like in front of him.
Nice. Hmm.
I think like the final scene Iktomi has, he's in this like that utility closet again, and he like looks around, really paranoid, like puts a cloth over the camera that Sia has in there, and reaches under this loose floorboard and pulls out this old photo album and starts going through like literal photos of him with old villains like doing mundane shit.
Sorry, I'm muted there. I got a quick question. How do you contact Desiccatia usually? Because it's part of the friends in low places. You could contact them. Do you have like a way to contact each other?
We have I think like a special like a super villain like VPN network where we get to like just, you know, we'll just ping, like we'll set up pings that, you know, if this ping's here, it means come pick up an instant message.
I think you get a ping, for sure, and it's just one message from Desiccatia. It just says, "I just had to know that you were serious about this."
And I think the final one is I'm moving on from everything and everyone. Send.
And then you go look back at your photo album.
Yep, because I hurt inside.
What's the last we see of you, Spectre?
Yes, I think in a sort of mirror scene. In fact, a couple of the others we've had, so that there'll be Spectre is also like sitting up on the kind of couch thing that he's been sat on in the lighthouse, and he's got his phone out, and he's obviously got like the message screen visible, and there's a message there that just says, hey, sorry, things have been crazy. I've got to get out of town for a while. And we kind of get that, like an image of that. And there's obviously already like Spectre's response, like typed out, where he says, I don't blame you. Hopefully we'll catch up again one day. and then we just kind of flash down to like the half-eaten sandwich on the plate next to him, and back to the thing where he actually presses the button to send the message, and we see that the sort of the recipient in the name on the thing is 0G.
Aw. Damn, I was hoping to introduce him. All right, never mind. No, it's fine. Yeah. For those who don't know, 0G was. Were you officially together?
We dated. We certainly dated. You know, that was.
Yeah. No one's allowed to be happy tonight, apparently. Cool. I think that's the.
Could I just one last thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of just to tie this back to the overall community that we've got going on. I would like us to see just kind of like we're watching a YouTube video, and it's this regular figure that is in the community now, and it's Shoreline Sam 6. And he has this latest upload, and he really doesn't like vigilantes, and it's got a lot of phone footage, and him talking over like how vigilantes have done like the latest bad thing for the city, and it has the clip of. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say like there is like a character in like one of Spectre's backstory questions that does that. I think, or we were talking about the same character. Hold on. Sorry, yeah, no, I think.
Go ahead. If you
Oh no,
tie it in, that's even better. Yeah.
Yeah, because in Spectre's backstory, I mentioned a Colton Coldwater.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, the host of Cold Hard Facts. He hates vigilantes, teams, and team vigilantes. So it can be just him. Yeah, it's just him.
I just wanted to have this idea that that clip of that there is a clip of Sia having grievously injured that move, and now people are watching that, and people are talking about it. And then we see kind of like the YouTube video pan out, and it's a small child watching it, and it's set to the sister. And that's when she walks into the house.
I appreciate when you all are just setting yourselves up for these sort of things. I don't even have to do anything. Like, come on. All right, that's fantastic. That's a fab way to end this issue. All right. But we're not done yet. We have to do end of session stuff. We've got a set of end of session moves. So at the end of every session, each of you is going to choose one. Grow closer to the team, grow to your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team. Let's go in order. Let's go from left to right on the character keeper. Spectre, how are you feeling?
Definitely grew closer to the team. In particular, Sia totally had my back throughout that fight. So I will give. Well, Sia already has influence over me, so they get to rearrange my labels. Or shift one up, shift one down.
Can we go ahead and sorry, this would probably hurt. Can we move your freak up one and your savior down one?
Sure thing.
Interesting. Iktomi, how are you?
I also grew close to the team thanks to Sia. She now has influence over me, which I believe she did not, or did you have that before? No one did, because I didn't. So Sia now has influence on me, and I will mark potential.
Hell yeah, Jesus. All right. Wrath. So you either grew closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team.
I think Wrath actually grew into his own image of himself more than anything else.
Cool.
So he's going to shift a label up and another down. Hang on. Too many tabs. So many tabs. I'm definitely going to shift his his danger up, and what goes down? I think I'll take his savior down.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely makes sense. And last but not least, Sia. Which one do you think?
Yeah, I think she really grew with the team because they kind of, especially with Wrath, supported them and kind of like this new ego that is Sia and not her secret identity. And that's kind of what she's escaping into. So, yeah.
Cool. So, Wrath, you're going to take influence over Sia, which I think you already have. So you can shift their labels.
I think I'm going to take your mundane down and your superior up.
Perfect.
Because I think by the end, he definitely had a higher opinion of Sia, but it was because of Sia's mask and not Sia's mundane identity. So,
Hell yeah. Yeah, and Sia, you get to clear a condition or mark potential. Not to give any more conditions, so just take the potential. Cool. Yeah. Okay, so that wraps up this session of masks. Jesus Christ, y'all are fab as always. I always like to get that on the record that these are fab group of players, and it feels really good to be able to play with them. All right, I'm gonna stop the broadcast. To everyone watching this, thanks for watching. Watch all the other mask stuff. Watch everything else. If any of you know where my orphan first session of Band of Blades ended up streaming, just message me. I feel so bad about that. There's some cool stuff there that's now gone forever. But yeah, I'll stop the broadcast.